They call it the Widowmaker, a jagged tooth of black basalt sticking out of the Atlantic, 6 miles off the coast of Maine. For 50 years it sat abandoned, its light extinguished, its stairs rotting. Everyone in town said it was cursed. They said the last keeper didn't just disappear. They said the ocean claimed his mind before it took his body. And me? I was the idiot who bought it for $1 at a government auction. I'm a DIY guy. I flipped crumbling Victorian mansions and fixed up rusted-out trailers. I thought a lighthouse was just a vertical fixer-upper with a better view. I was wrong. I was so incredibly wrong. Day 1 was fine. Exhausting, but fine. I arrived with a crate of supplies, a generator, and enough canned food to last a month. The smell was the first thing that hit me. Not just salt and dead fish, but a heavy, metallic scent, like old copper and dried blood. The spiral staircase groaned under my boots like a dying animal. Every time I climbed, I felt eyes on the back of my neck. I chalked it up to the isolation. Total sensory deprivation does weird things to your brain, right? By day 3, the weird things started getting physical. I spent 8 hours scrubbing rust off the lantern room floor. I went downstairs to grab a protein bar, and when I came back up, my wrench, which I'd left on the floor, was standing perfectly upright on its handle, not leaning against a wall, balanced, on a vibrating floor in high winds. I laughed it off. I told myself it was some freak gravitational quirk of the rock. But then I saw the handprint. A small, wet, gray handprint on the glass of the lantern, 6 inches higher than I could reach. That night, the storm of the century hit. The waves weren't just hitting the base, they were climbing. The whole tower shuddered. I was huddled in the kitchen area on the 3rd floor, clutching a flashlight, when the generator cut out. Total darkness. And then I heard it. Thump, thump, thump. Someone was walking up the stairs. Not the heavy, rhythmic gait of a person, but a wet, dragging sound. Squelch, thump, squelch, thump. I yelled out, "Is someone there?" My voice sounded thin and pathetic against the roar of the wind. The footsteps stopped right outside the kitchen door. I held my breath. My heart was beating so hard I thought it would crack a rib. Then, a voice, raspy, like 2 stones grinding together, whispered through the wood, "It's not time to light it yet." I didn't sleep. I shoved the heavy oak table against the door and sat there with my crowbar until sunrise. When the storm cleared, I ran up to the lantern room to check for damage. The light, the massive rusted Fresnel lens that hadn't moved since the 1970s, was spinning. It was silent. No motor, no electricity, just turning slowly, casting a sickly green glow even in the morning sun. I went down to the basement, the part carved directly into the sea rock, to check the foundations. That's where I found the room. A small crawl space behind a loose stone. Inside wasn't treasure or old logs. It was a wall covered in scratch marks, thousands of them, and one sentence carved deep into the rock over and over again. "The sea wants its eye back." I realized then that I wasn't rehabilitating a building. I was waking something up. The lighthouse wasn't built to guide ships. It was built to keep something out there from coming in. Or maybe it was built to keep something down there from coming up. I tried to leave that afternoon, but my boat was gone, not drifted away. The heavy steel mooring chain had been snapped like a piece of dry spaghetti. I'm writing this now on my phone, sitting in the lantern room. It's the only place that feels not safe, but less dangerous. The light is still spinning. The sun is going down, and the dragging footsteps, they just started again on the 1st floor. If you find this, don't buy the lighthouse. Some things are abandoned for a reason. I thought I was being brave, a visionary, a restorer of history. But standing here, watching the shadows stretch across the water, I realized I wasn't a hero. I was just fresh made. The Widowmaker is hungry, and I think I'm finally starting to understand why the last keeper never left.